It's Monday, it's beginning of the week. This is gonna be a busy week. We got a lot written down on our to-do lists. We gotta lower the motorhome, we gotta set this thing up. We have some ideas for how we wanna utilize the motorhome to make some income on this homestead, because that is something we are definitely lacking right now, and it's slowing down projects. And yeah, you know, it's important. Money's important, imagine that. So we're getting going here, but it's getting hot already, and I'm just gonna start getting to work here, and that's it. Oh no, I forgot to disconnect the battery. And this thing was on. Dead battery. Connected to this, to the Renay solar charge controller I have. And then I got some panels out here, and that's how I charge my batteries, because I don't have a battery tender. I got a lot of stuff to do in this little shelter today, but it is unbelievably hot in there because of how hot it is outside. So first thing first, this door has got to come off so I can get some airflow up in there. It's pretty simple to take this door off. We start with this ratchet strap down here, loosening it enough just to take this off. Then it's threaded in here at each of these poles. So just gonna take a ratchet, take that off, this, like that, and then you just pull this through. And then you just go up and do that one, and the one over there with a ladder. And you can just put this right back on and do a backup. Now that I've sweat every single piece of liquid out of my body, I'm ready for the next task. Hey, honey. The sun is blasting me. It's midday. It's too hot to be out where I was working before, so I'm working on a new experimental project. This is another task I want to complete this week. This is a little pump here. I've got some clear tubing on it and some mesh screen that I've attached with these little clamps, and I'm just going to connect these with some of these crumpets or whatever the hell they're called, and I'm just going to attach some more wire to this so that I can feed it out to the 12-volt battery. The idea here with this is to make a pump system to be able to irrigate from our pond, and probably store it in these 5-gallon jugs and be able to transport it back and forth to the main garden. Unfortunately, the pond is pretty far from the garden, so I'm still trying to figure out ways to make this more efficient to be able to use the pond water. But I really want to use the pond water because it's full of algae and duckweed and nitrogen and runoff, and it's beautiful water, really. It's powerful, beautiful water for our garden. That is an untapped resource, and we need water here because it hasn't rained in weeks. And our rain storage bin that we got from the Patreons is pretty much empty. So here's our beautiful little pond jungle, and we'll try to take this thing down here. If this ends up working, I'll definitely carve a path, but for now I'll just walk through the burdock and the little trees and whatnot. Okay, so some water. Sorry, plants. Just the way of it. Okay, let's test this piece. Whoa, water. It's working. So this pilot test wasn't a complete failure. You can see there's water in the line there. There's actually a little bit of pond water, very small amount of pond water that I was able to get up. But what happens is this gets plugged really quickly because of where it sits. It'll just drop right to the bottom and get caught up in all the mud. There is this mounting plate underneath here that I could mount on a board upside down and the board will float. Or I can kind of design it so that it sits in a specific place, but the level of the pond goes up and down depending on the time of year. So I might just do a floating board, this upside down so it's underneath the duckweed and above the mud. And then there's this problem too. I couldn't find another one of these orange ones, so this detached as well. So it's just a really finicky setup. But like I said, just a trial run. I wanted to even see if that small little pump would pump up water 10 feet through this tube. So it does. This setup also requires me to just kind of build this out a little bit, whether with rocks or lumber or wood or something. Build this out so that I can have these things at a specific area. I can have multiple of these buckets and just put the tube in one, let it fill up, put the tube in the other, let it fill up, and then just cart these back and forth to the garden. So that's the idea there. Until then, I can always haul water like this if I need to.
We had some pretty hardcore winds last night. We actually had a branch come down. Let's check it out.
Holy. Fell directly on top of our burn barrel. That is a huge branch. Wow.
Lots of cracks.
I don't know how that fell.
Yeah, like you can see where it broke and
It's all smashed up.
Pretty crazy.